Hello, hello. Hello, Facebook. It's Ingrid here. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let's put this in. See if that makes a difference. Give some people a minute to get on here. It is 2 p.m. here in Ireland, and I believe it's 9 p.m. Eastern, if my math is doing me right, which it should be. There's no reason why my math should go wrong just because I'm international. And hopefully you can see and hear me okay this week. I am coming live from Ireland again. Last week, I couldn't do it last week. We were actually getting new fiber wires laid here at the house. My dad was on the ball as always with all of this, and he wanted to make sure we had the fastest broadband available. So this week we have Google Fiber. And I believe the lines are, maybe it's not done by Google here, but I believe the speed of the internet should be super, super fast. So I just want to make sure and check that this is going live in the group. And I will share it in, it should be going live. There it is. And I look fine. I don't look blurry. I looked terribly blurry the last time. Let me go see. Day 52, because I have some people over there that like to see what's going on. All right, so back to the screen again. Very good. Okay, welcome. It's another Tuesday. It is Biz Talk Tuesday. If you are joining me live, say hi. Let me know where you're at in the world. If you are watching this on the replay, go ahead and type in hashtag replay and let me know where you're watching in the world, and I will pop in later and say hello to you too. In case you don't know me, my name is Ingrid Owens. I'm a business coach and marketing strategist, and I help creative entrepreneurs grow their business online in a way that feels aligned and awesome to them. So if we haven't met before and you haven't been here before, I'm delighted that you are here. Today we are talking about niching or niching, or I heard people calling it niching. What it means is N-I-C-H-E. Niching is what I say, at least where I come from. And what it means is getting down and small and granular in your business and the people who you serve, and getting really specific about who you serve and the product that you offer. So if you've never done this before, if you're thinking about niching or wondering, should I niche or niche? I'm going to have to use them interchangeably. Let's talk a little bit about why you should do that. So first of all, that's what a niche is. So if we were looking at a market like photography, okay, within the photography market, there are so many different niches, right? You could be a portrait photographer. You could be a landscape photographer. You could be a wedding photographer. You could be a newborn photographer. You could be a child's family portrait photographer. Okay, so each one of those would be considered a niche. As that niche goes, you could even go down further within that niche to get even more specific and more detailed about the people who you serve. So you might be, like I say, a child photographer. You might only do newborn portraits. You might only do newborn twin photography, right? It depends on how specific you want to go and the market that you're serving and where you're located. For a local business will have a lot to do that. You know, if you're a newborn twin only photographer based, you're only looking at a catchment area of like 20,000 people, like you may be, if you were here in the countryside of Ireland, it might not be the best niche to pick. But if you were willing to travel, go far and wide internationally, and you get known as the very best twin baby newborn photographer, then maybe that's a good enough niche to be in. Okay, so you see where I'm going. Like, it's getting narrower and narrower and narrower in your focus, in your target market, and who you serve and the products that you offer them. Now, if you don't know what I mean by target market, these are the people who your ideal dream clients are, the ideal people who you would really like to be working with. And I do have a resource available for you that I will drop in the link below here, in the links below here, which is a workbook outlining how to define who your ideal client is. So that's something you should look for, because that's really the first step in establishing your niche. Now, the question even before that becomes, should I niche down? And I will absolutely say wholeheartedly, yes, you should niche. You should not try and serve everybody everything, and you should get more and more specific if you can. I recently heard of a photographer who was who's doing really successfully in the United States, and she's an equine photographer. So she loves to photograph horses. And then she really realized that she loves to do portraiture and owners and people with their horses. And then she niched down even further to say, like, she wasn't going to do shows. She wasn't going to do, the type of horse photography where things were like, horses were moving, or there was gymkhanas, or I'm not really sure what the official names are, horse shows. But actually what she does is high-end portrait photography of girls and their horses. So young girls within the age, I think, of about like 16 to 25 or 16 to 30 perhaps, and a portrait of them and their horses together, and they're very high end. So she's getting down further and further and further, niche all the time, right? And now it is very profitable for her, because she's like the only person doing this. And of course she has her own certain style and whatever. So it's very easy for her to stand out. So with that, let's talk about the 3 reasons why you should niche. Okay. So first of all, yes, you should niche. Second of all, let's think about the reasons why you should niche. The first reason is because it's easier to talk to your specific segment, your specific market segment, your specific niche, than talk to everybody. Okay. It's easier to have a conversation either in person or online or in your marketing materials to one person or one specific type of a person, rather than trying to speak to everybody. So by kind of figuring out who your ideal market is, you're going away towards figuring out who your niche is, right? Or what your niche is. So let's think about that. Like, if I am a business coach, and if I decided I wanted to help everybody with their business, I want to help the likes of, Google with their business, and big, massive corporations and small corporations, or people who are family businesses, or people who have e-commerce stores, or people who have, such a variety, right? Such a variety of businesses out there. Like, business is so broad. And although I could help everybody, I do think that on some level I could help everybody. It is easier for me to direct my attention to a specific niche. And my sweet spot, and the people who I feel most called to serve right now, is people who consider themselves creative and that they want to be an entrepreneur out of their creative endeavors. So people like photographers, like graphic designers, like interior designers, like artists, people who are into ceramics, all that sort of stuff, right? People who are creative, who love the creative arts and want to make a business out of that, or who approach their life in a creative way and their business in a creative way. So my niche is creative entrepreneurs. Now, when I'm doing my marketing, I'm only really trying to attract people who consider themselves a creative entrepreneur. If you don't consider yourself creative, then we're probably not a good fit right now. I have a lot of programs developed out, especially for creatives. I don't necessarily have them built out for people who might be, in a corporate environment. That doesn't really, I'm not as familiar with that. So that's not what I choose to do right now. And of course I have a mindset of abundance, so that there's so many people out there that I can help with this sort of stuff. I don't have to just be focused on, everybody. And I think that's a really big part of it. And one of the reasons why we, afraid to niche down a little bit, because we are afraid of all the people who we're leaving out. The reality is that we're not really leaving people out, because if somebody really, really wants to work with you and they're, ready to take on your program, and they're really aligned with you, your product, your service, they're going to ask you to work with them anyway. And you could still, decide that. So if you're a newborn baby photographer and a lady comes and asks you to do their wedding, please, 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 we'll pay you all the money in the world, they're the best client ever, then maybe you decide to do that. The key is that your marketing isn't necessarily attracted to that or directed towards that person. If they come to you in another way, that's fine, you can still serve them, but your marketing is directed to one type or one subsection of people. Okay, so it's easier to talk. So it's easier to talk the language, it's easier to communicate, it's easier just to really relate to one niche at a time. The second really important reason for you to niche is that it's really easier for other people to refer you to other people, right? To their friends and their network. You can be more, as my coach says, referable. And this is really important because if you get known for being the master in one specific area, then it becomes easier for somebody to say, oh yeah, I know somebody who's a business coach for creatives. I'll put you in touch with Ingrid. Yes, I know somebody who does portraiture for horses. I'll put you in touch with Jane, right? Whatever it is, it's easy to know because that sticks out rather than, oh yeah, she thinks she does that sort of thing. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe she's a photographer. I don't know. Does she do weddings? I don't know. Does she do interior design in a house, like interior photos, whatever it is, right? So you could be if you're very general, it's hard for people to really get what you do. If you're very specific, it's very easy for people to know what you to do to be memorable and then to refer you. And so that's the second thing. So the first one is easier to talk to people. The second, that it's easier for people to refer you out. And the third thing is that I said here is that because it's easier for you to master your craft. So I'm a big believer in going deep and really getting specific and figuring out all of the things that are happening with one thing at a time. It's very easy to be generalists. There's a lot of people who are generalists, but if you want to be a master in your craft, you kind of have to block out the other stuff and really focus in on one thing at a time and go deep. And it may not be forever because this gets everybody all up in their feelings. Like, I don't want to just do note cards forever and ever. I want to spread my wings or whatever. But if you can become the master at doing note cards and you can have really explored every facet of that, it will pay dividends in the long run because you're really starting to master your craft rather than doing a little bit this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I want you to encourage you to stick with one niche for at least 90 days. So at least a quarter. That's kind of what you want to be thinking on. And it doesn't mean that you'll never do this or you'll never do fine art, photography or whatever. If that's your business, you want to just focus specifically for a short period of time. Throw all your marketing at that. Throw all of your products and your conversations around that one particular niche and try it. Because again, remember, my whole philosophy is business is a combination of knowing and listening to your intuition, what feels right for you, knowing and talking to your people, so conversing and engaging with those people, and also listening to the numbers or looking at the numbers. So you can't do a proper experiment if you don't give yourself enough time. So give yourself enough time, collect the data, don't make it mean stuff, just go after it, and then if it's not right, pivot and change. All right. So that's what I had for you today, talking about niching and niching down in your market. I hope this is going live and broadcasting out wherever it should be without hitch this time. I don't think I've dropped off, which has been good. We are about to go into town and go do some shopping and do some fun stuff around our local town here. And I want to encourage you to, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the comments and I will answer them back. Also, right now, feel free at any point in this video to share this video with your friends or with anybody who you think would benefit from hearing this information. I would be very, very grateful if you did it. And the final thing is that I am opening up my calendar again to give away some strategy sessions. I figured out that really the best way for anybody to get an idea of what it is like to coach with me specifically, have my eyes and hands specifically on your business or your dreams for a business, is to get a little taster. Right? Just like when you're at the mall and they give you the little taste of the cookies and all that and you want to go buy them. Same with me. I would like to give you a little taster of what it is like to work with me. So if you would like to do that and we've never worked together before, I invite you to apply to get a complimentary strategy session. I will put the link underneath this video, and I would be honored to work with you and help you through some sticking point that you're currently having. So that's all it is. All I have to say here from Cheery Ireland. I will be back next week, the same time, same place, roughly. Maybe not the same place, but same place for you. And in the meantime, have an awesome day. Talk to you soon.